Good morning and a very warm welcome to one and all. I hope everyone is safe and well. This is a global series webinar organized by Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth, where we bring global academic discourses on various realms of knowledge. I am Yati Ache, Assistant Professor of MOC Renewable Energy Management Program at CVB. I'll be host for this session on Energy Swaraj, Essence of Sustainability. If you have any doubts or questions when the session starts, please put them in the chat box. We can have a question answer session mostly at the end of the webinar. And moving forward, it is my privilege to welcome our distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. Chetan Singh Solanki. May I introduce him to all of you? Professor Solanki sir has been referred to as Solar Man of India by Times of India, The Hindu, and India Today. He is also called the Solar Gandhi. He is also known for his remarkable work in the field of solar. Besides being a professor at the Department of Energy Science and Engineering, IIT Bombay, he is an educator, innovator, researcher, entrepreneur, author, and loves to talk about the philosophy of life. Professor Solanki has published over 100 research papers in reputed international journals. He has 4 US patents to his credit, with several more under review. He is a member of several national committees related to solar technologies as well. Professor Solanki believes in practicing yoga, breathing exercises, and meditation for physical and mental well being. He practices and promotes being happy under all situations. He associates himself with the Art of Living organization, and as a teacher has taken an active part in training young minds as well. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. We welcome you to the webinar, and over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me to be part of this seminar. And I hope that by the end of the seminar, we'll be able to understand why we need Energy Swaraj, why it is required in the current context, etc. So I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can look at the presentation. All right, so I'm going to talk about Energy Swaraj and why it is important in today's context of the sustainability and also in the context of the climate change. So the modern humans of today, the 21st century, are the most evolved species ever existed on this planet, isn't it? We are scientifically advanced, we are technologically advanced, we are economically advanced, and never ever in the history of the planet there were humans or any other species as evolved as we are. We can go to moon, we can fly, we can go to the other side of the planet in a very short time, we can replace an heart if there's any problem. So in every aspect, we are economically advanced, scientifically advanced, and technologically advanced. And because we are so advanced, because we are so powerful, it is important to be philosopher, And the Plato in his book, The Republic, mentioned that the kings should become philosophers, or that philosophers should become kings. You understand? So only king, if you are king, you should be philosopher. If not, only philosopher should become king. And why it is so? Because once you are so powerful that you can drive the planet, you can define the life and affect the life of many people, you have to be philosopher. Without or in the absence of philosophy, we are like a headless chicken. And that is exactly what we are behaving today. And therefore, science is growing, technology is growing, and everything is growing. And if I ask people, how are you? How are you? How are you all, guys? How are you all, students? How are you? Maybe with this, you can, show me your video if possible and tell me how are you. Anybody? I'm not able to hear you. I want to hear you and tell me how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Fine, fine,
Everybody is
Fine,
fine.
sir.
fine.
Okay, great.
Good. Good.
You know, that's that is exactly the problem of the world today. You know, that you are fine. That is the problem of the world. That you have to understand. We are so advanced scientifically, technologically, economically. Just to be fine, the God will be troubled today. You know, when He will hear that everybody is just fine. You know, in our scriptures, Gita, it is written that the purpose of every single act is to be happy, not just to be fine, isn't it? Why do we want to look good? Why do we want to work so hard? Why do we want to educate ourselves? Why do we want to have comfort in life? Why? Because we want to be happy, isn't it? But look at everyone, you know, everyone keeps working hard and wants to get job, and even if they get job and you ask people everywhere, how are you? They will say fine. Then I have to say, oh my God, everybody is just stuck at the fine level. When are you going to be happy? Are you going to be happy 10 years later, 20 years later, 50 years later, or you'll die just being fine? So that is what we need to understand, that the whole purpose is not just to be fine. So I hope you understand that that is why the philosophy in life is important. That is why philosophy in our whole existence is important. Another dimension that we look is that our GDP is increasing, isn't it? And GDP of the country is increasing with the rate of 5%, 6%, 7%, 8%, sometimes 9% also. And the question I ask people, why do you want to increase GDP? What is the purpose behind increasing GDP? They say because of the GDP, prosperity increases, isn't it? Comfort increases. And what happens? Prosperity increases, you should be happy. So with the increase in GDP, if your GDP is increasing with the 5%, it should result in an increase in smile also with the 5%. So every time GDP increases 5%, your smile should become bigger and bigger and bigger. Your glow of the face should become bigger and bigger. Is that happening? No. As the GDP is happening, reverse is happening. The smiles are decreasing, isn't it? It is degrading. So what does it mean? That I believe that there is something wrong in this world. There's something terribly wrong in this world. That is what you need to realize. When it is raining everywhere intensely, flooding, and there are forest fires, and there are, heat waves in Europe, things are so bad. There is something terribly wrong. Another important philosophical question is, what is the most important thing in your life, if anybody can tell me? What is the most important, the most important thing in your life? Anybody can tell me? Anyone? Or everyone? Anybody would like to volunteer and tell me what is the most important thing in your life?
So freedom from dependence.
Freedom from dependence. Very nice. What else?
Know yourself.
Know yourself. Okay. What else?
Breath.
What?
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
Our breath, sir.
So that is how we even do not realize. And people say, what is important? People will say parents are important, peace of mind is important, children are important, job is important, money is important. I tell them, look, close your nose for more than a minute. Just close your nose just for a minute. Then you will realize what is the most important thing in your life, isn't it? So what is the most important thing? It is the air that we breathe. We cannot live without breathing air for more than a minute. Can you? You cannot. But we, the ignorant humans of the modern humans of the 21st century, for us, air is not important. And that's why if it is not important, we are not doing anything to protect the air. Are you doing anything to clean the air, protect the air? No. Are you doing something to pollute the air? Yes. Everybody is working very hard to ensure that air is polluted. Water is most important. You cannot live without drinking water. Have you done anything in your life to protect the water, save the water? No. but you are working very hard to pollute it by using, electricity and products and this and that and chemicals and everything. So we, the modern humans, have become very dangerous animal on the planet. We are so dangerous that the climate has changed. We have resulted in a change in climate. We are so stupid animals on this planet that our own air, water, soil, river, forest, we cannot live without this element. But we are destroying them, isn't it? Can anyone tell that any natural element is intact the way it was? Nobody can guarantee that, right? Every element, every nature's element is in a bad shape. So look at the stupidity, in our Panchatantra stories, what we say, if a person is sitting in a branch of a tree and cutting the same branch, what we call such a person? Stupid person, isn't it? Aren't we all behaving like a stupid people, destroying our very same existence by polluting air, water, and soil and everything? And so therefore GDP is increasing, but nature is decreasing. What is point in doing this? The nature is decreasing means your quality of life is decreasing, your existence is decreasing. But we, the modern human, are trying to do that. What does it mean? There is something terribly wrong in this world. And that is the single most important message you should take home today, that there is something wrong. Who has done this? Who has done this wrong? Who has caused this change? Who has done this? And I keep asking people, they say humans have done this, very intelligent and smartly. Then I have to ask, who are these humans? And then they'll say, oh, we have done it. Then I have to further clarify, who are these we people? It is I who has done it, isn't it? It is I who has polluted the air. It is I who has, polluted the water and everything. It is I who is responsible for the climate change. And all of us should realize that we are responsible for climate change. And if we are responsible for the climate change, we must solve it. We must correct ourselves. That is the message you should take it. So, as I said, air, water, forest, river, everything is in a bad shape. The air is decreasing, the forest cover is losing, the water is, many people are stressed due to the unavailability of the clean drinking water. The soil is degrading. So overall things are in a bad shape in this world. And why it is in a bad shape in this world? Because we started using energy, fossil energy, coal, petrol, diesel, LPG, CNG. And rightly so. Why we started using? Because the world is a play of energy. Everything happens because of energy. Your social growth, your economic growth, everything happens because of energy, isn't it? Internal energy, the smile will not be there on the face of a person if he's not happy from inside. So your internal energy is in a bad shape. External energy, the energy that drives our machines, that is also in a bad shape. That is also contributes to the climate change. That is also contributes to the air pollution, water pollution. So the whole world is a play of energy, but the unfortunate part is that these energies are in a bad shape. And therefore, and as I said, and rightly so, because one side it affects the growth, and other side it also affects the climate change. So one side we need more energy supply because we want to grow. Other side we need to decrease energy supply because there is a climate change. So these are the contradictory requirements. What do I do? Or as a student, if I ask question, what should we do? What we as a humans we should do today? Should we increase more energy consumption or should we decrease our energy consumption? And that is one of the biggest challenge humanity is facing today, I believe. Nothing can be more bigger challenge than this, that we do not know what to do. It's all contradictory. Our life itself is a contradictory in many sense. So because our coal, petrol, diesel consumption is increasing, which contributes to 80 to 85% requirement of the world, and look at the rate at which it is increasing. Look at the amount of energy that comes from coal, oil and gas, 80%, 85%. When did it increase? It increased in the last 50, 100 years mainly. So what is the problem? When there is so much of consumption of coal, oil and gas, the byproduct of this consumption, whether you're cooking in your house, you're using LPG. What is the byproduct of burning LPG in the kitchen? Carbon dioxide. When you are traveling, you are using petrol, diesel. What is the byproduct of burning petrol, diesel in your vehicle? Carbon dioxide. When you are using electricity, you are somewhere burning coal. 80% of electricity in India comes from coal still. So you are burning the coal and you are responsible for emitting carbon dioxide. So everything that we are doing in our life, every second of our life, we are responsible for emitting carbon dioxide. And look at the rate at which it is increasing. Look at the exponential growth in the amount of carbon dioxide that exists in the atmosphere. From 280 ppm, it has gone to almost 420, 415 ppm. ppm is parts per million. So there is a very high level of concentration that exists today. And what does the CO2 do? CO2 is a greenhouse gas. So what it will do? It will result in a greenhouse effect. What is greenhouse effect? It will cause global warming. And that is what we see happening in this world today. Global warming. The entire planet has become hotter, by the way. Entire planet. How dangerous the humans are. Such a huge planet, we have caused global warming due to our action. So the whole world is now warmer by about 1 degree centigrade, actually 1.1 degree centigrade. The entire world is warmer by 1.1 degree centigrade. Many people may say only 1.1 degree centigrade. What is a big deal? In summer, our temperature goes to 45, 46 degrees centigrade. In winter, some places temperature goes to 3, 4 degrees centigrade. What is the big deal about 1 degree centigrade, isn't it? But this 1 degree centigrade itself is enormous change. And it is causing havoc on the planet. And today, last 2 months activity, you must see what is happening. There are forest fires in Turkey, Greece, Russia. There are heat waves in Europe, Canada, America. There are floods in Germany. There are floods in India. So overall, things are in a very bad shape. For the God's sake, wake up now and realize that we are really in bad shape. Somewhere in deserts, there are snowfalls and there are hailstorms and ice caps are melting in the North Pole and South Pole. Sea level is rising. Forest fires of enormous size, heat waves in Europe, temperature touching to 49 degrees centigrade. The Italy, the temperature has gone to 49 degrees centigrade. So, and currently, right now, as we are talking, there are two problems in the country, Italy. And the northern Italy, there are floods. And the southern Italy, there are heat waves and forest fires. So much change. 49 degrees centigrade is recorded in Sicily, one of the city in Italy. Air pollution, we know very well how bad it becomes in Delhi. So anyway, in total, what I'm saying is that things are very bad on this planet. Not bad, very bad. And let us wake up and realize. So the scientists keeps telling us that, look guys, we have to limit our global warming to 1.5 degrees centigrade. If not 2 degrees centigrade. Why? Because once you cross this limit of 1.5 degrees centigrade, the climate starts to become irreversible. The change starts to become irreversible. Means whatever change will happen, you will not be able to reverse it back 1.5 to 2 degrees centigrade. So we should do everything possible to limit our global warming to make 1.5 degree ideally, if not 2 degrees centigrade. The next question is, how much time is left before we touch 1.5 degrees centigrade? How much time is left? We do not have centuries. We do not have 500 years, 200 years, 100 years, 50 years. No, we do not have. We don't have 40 years, 30 years also. We don't have 10 years also. There is what is called carbon budget. So the rate at which we are emitting carbon dioxide and the total carbon dioxide that we can still afford to emit before it touches 1.5 degrees centigrade, those numbers are known. Those numbers are, as of today, is only 270 billion tons you can afford to emit, and per year emission is 42 billion ton. So divide 270 by 40, the numbers are less than 7 years today. Less than 7 years of time is left before we touch 1.5 degrees centigrade. Do we have 5 years plan? Do we make 5 years plan? Do we have 50 years, 200 years? No, we don't. We are running out of time. So therefore, the change that we need in energy use pattern as per the IPCC report has to be drastic and immediate. We need drastic and immediate change in the energy use pattern. How should be the change? It has to be drastic. When should it happen? immediately. That is what we need to realize. The change has to happen immediately, right now. And therefore, what is the drastic and immediate change? I believe that we need to all switch to 100% solar energy. Everything should switch to solar energy. When? Right now. We don't have time. And therefore, one of the mission that I'm running is surrender electricity connection. We should give away our electricity connection. Leave it. Adopt to solar energy, 100%. That is what is required. All academic institutions should do it. And to do this, I have undertaken this yatra for 11 years. I have taken a place that I will not go home for 11 years. I live in this bus and then I go around the country. I will definitely come south also sometime. The whole mission and the whole idea is that we should understand that we are in a bad shape and we need to do something. Each of us need to do something. What we should do, of course, we should shift to energy. We should shift to solar energy. But even before we do that, there are some fundamental aspects that we must follow. There are fundamental rules that we must follow. And I call them the rules of human existence. And these are based on the Gandhian philosophy. Gandhiji said, the world has enough for everyone's need, but not for anyone's greed. There's only enough for need, not for the greed. But what we are trying to do, the modern humans are trying to increase production. The modern humans are trying to increase consumption. But Earth is finite. The size of the planet is finite. The amount of water is finite. The amount of air is finite. The resources are finite. Everything is finite. But look at the modern human. What we think? We think that we should continuously increase our production and consumption. And that is the problem of the world. It is not possible. Therefore, the rule number 1, I call it first law of existence, human existence, that in an ecosystem of finite resources, there can only be finite consumption. Second thing, we say that, okay, Gandhi said not the mass production. We do not need mass production. Production by masses is required. Why? Because every time we do mass production, there is unequal distribution. Unequal distribution. And if there's unequal distribution, there's inequity in the world. And if there's inequity in the world, there will be lack of peace in the world, which is not going to create a beautiful future. With the increase in science and technology, the love between people is not increasing. The brotherhood is not increasing. On the other end, it's going opposite direction. Therefore, there is something wrong in this world. And Gandhi said, no, we do not need mass production. What we need? Production by masses. So in an ecosystem of finite resources, there has to be distributed production. We cannot centralize the production. There has to be distributed production. That is a rule number 2. So the 2 rule can be summarized in the following manner, that we have to have limited consumption and localized production. Our consumption has to be limited and our production has to be local. So when we apply this to energy, it becomes energy Swaraj, limited consumption, localized production. Surrender your electricity connection, limit your consumption, and whatever you need, generate it on your own rooftop. That becomes energy Swaraj. All of us needs to adopt to energy Swaraj. The country needs to adopt to energy Swaraj. The whole world needs to adopt to energy Swaraj, because the entire climate change is because of the energy. And this Energy Swaraj Foundation is a not-for-profit foundation that I have started. And even to guide people, how do we switch to solar 100%? How do we surrender electricity connection? I made a 3-step approach that we should follow. Number 1, avoid the use of energy by 1/3. Avoid the use of energy as much as possible, even if it is solar energy. Don't use solar energy also. Avoid it by 1/3. Why? Because even if you use solar energy, there are side effects. There is no production in the world that happens without side effect. Even to make solar cell, you need to make purified silicon, you need to make modules, you need to make glass, wafers, wire structure. So much production you need. So therefore, best thing you can do in this world is avoid. Don't use it. Don't use refrigerator, washing machine, this, that. In my house, we don't have refrigerator, we don't have geyser, we don't have AC. Because I believe and I understand that the best thing in this world to do is avoid, don't use it. Next thing is minimize the use of energy by using efficient appliances. Use as little as energy possible. Use appliances which requires little energy or less energy. like LED, they are very efficient as compared to CFL. There are BLDC fans, they are very efficient as compared to this. They require less than half energy, BLDC fans. Refrigerator and AC, you should not use it. If you're using it, it is almost like a crime. Why crime? Because once you use AC and refrigerator for 1 hour, it results in 1 unit of electricity consumption, and 1 unit of electricity consumption is equal to 1 kilogram of carbon dioxide emission. 1 kilogram of carbon dioxide emission. So therefore, the best thing is don't use them. If you cannot avoid them, at least minimize them. How you minimize them? Use small refrigerator. Don't use 2 doors, 3 doors, 4 door refrigerator. Use small refrigerator. 150 liters should be more than sufficient for every house, 150 liters. And use 5-star rated. Use 5-star rated appliances, 5-star rated refrigerator. If at all you want to use AC, use 5-star rated AC only. If at all you want to use AC, do not cool down the big space. You need to cool down your body. You don't need to cool down your roof, and you don't have to cool down your floor and walls. But what we do, we create big rooms and then we cool down everything. What a stupidity. So therefore, don't do this. If you can avoid it, great. If you cannot avoid it, minimize it. Use cool small space, use 5-star rated appliances. And 1/3 you avoid it, 1/3 you minimize it. And if you cannot avoid and minimize, the remaining 1/3 you can generate. Just 1/3 of remaining energy you can generate. So how much you need to generate? Only 1/3. And when you need to generate only 1/3, you don't need electricity connection, isn't it? You can surrender. You can go on your own. You can take pride in saying, I don't have electricity connection. I'm free. I'm independent. And in this celebration of Independence Day, let us celebrate the real independence from all these clutches that we have today. That is a real independence. So generate 1/3 only, avoid 1/3, minimize 1/3, and generate 1/3. So I call it AMG rule: avoid, minimize, generate 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Isn't it? That is what we need. And if you do not follow AMG rule, you have to say OMG. Oh my God, solar energy is expensive. Oh my God, solar energy requires a lot of area and this and that. All kind of excuses will come. The best thing is follow AMG so that you can avoid saying OMG. Oh my God. I also believe that governments all over the world, when I traveled across the world last year, I realized that government all over the world will never be able to take sufficient actions, no matter what you do. Never. We need public movement. We need public movement. And without this public movement, we will never be able to solve. So what is public movement? Everyone takes pride in adopting to energy Swaraj. Everybody takes pride in becoming independent in energy. That is energy Swaraj. That is public movement we need. So I believe every academic institutions, individuals should become the leader in this case. And Chinmaya Vishwavidyalaya, I'm very happy to be talking to you people, and I'm very hopeful that institutions like Chinmaya, who are also leading the life and showing the life how to be led and how to be living happy, also guides people and guides society and guides the student in this direction, that we can be self-sufficient. So I'm from Madhya Pradesh. I'm also brand ambassador of government in Madhya Pradesh and trying to have many campuses going to solar. Many initiatives are going to solar, and therefore I believe that you can also start from building to building, floor to floor, room to room. You can start making your campus independent of energy. Students can design their projects. If required, I can give you training so that you can make your own building and campuses without electricity connection. Also, I strongly invite you to become part of this program, Energy and Climate Keep Up program. So we should all keep up to energy and climate. And what is up is understand, pledge, and progress. All of us should understand there is a problem, then we should take a pledge and then progress. That's a keep up program. You can go to this website, energyswaraj.org, and keepup.php. A student, there are training programs. You can train yourself, and then you can become volunteers. You can actually do the internship with the foundation. You can go and talk to people and make your own presentation, get the pledges recorded on our mobile app, and become part of it. So this Chinmaya Vishwavidyalaya, I definitely should become member of this mission. It takes only 750 rupees fee. And not only that, all students and faculty members should also become the member of this mission. So you can participate, you can go to our website and get all the details. And with this note, I hope I have made it clear to you that how bad the situation is, that the smiles are not increasing despite GDP is increasing. In fact, smiles are decreasing, depression is increasing. Time for climate change mitigation efforts are decreasing. We do not have time, we are running out of time. We need to become independent and then celebrate this Independence Day. And that is the real contribution, if anybody can do in these efforts to become sustainable and make life sustainable on this planet. And if you're not going to do this, it is estimated that by the end of this century, the global temperatures will rise to about 3 degrees centigrade to 6 degrees centigrade. And if the global temperature rises to 3 to 6 degrees centigrade above normal, whether human life will survive or not is a big question. And therefore I keep saying, we say that once upon a time there were dinosaurs on this planet and they are not there anymore today. And if we continue to behave like this, a new species will appear on this planet 3, 4,000, 5,000 years later, and they will say, once upon a time, there were humans on this planet. I hope we don't want such a situation to happen, and we will take action in time. So with this note, I would like to thank once again for inviting me, and it will be my pleasure to interact and respond to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think we can move to question and answer session. If anyone would like to ask her any questions, you can either put it in the chat box or unmute yourself. Thank you. One more question from YouTube, from Aishwarya. She has asked, I would like to know about some Samskrita texts in which there are by chance any references of solar energy systems and its usages.
Well, there are many. Unfortunately, I do not remember. But there are, in fact, if you go to our Vedas, there are beautiful, the shlokas are there, which tells very clearly that the moment the surface of the earth has to be nurtured and protected, because that is where our life is. We take all these elements from there. I do not remember which Veda it is there. Sun energy is the purifier, and it is a source of energy, and all elements it can take away from you, and we should use. All these things are there. I'm not a Sanskrit scholar, therefore I cannot quote it right now. Maybe next time I will keep them ready. But it is there. It is definitely there, very well written in our Vedas, in the importance of the sun, the importance of all this natural element, the importance of worshipping this natural element.
Thank you, sir. Is there any Gauri ma'am?
In the fans, there are BLDC fan, BLDC brushless DC fans are available. Normal induction motor fans takes about 60 to 70 watt of power. The BLDC fan takes about 25 to 30 watt of power, means less than half, and almost half or less than half. So if you use BLDC fans, you can 50% by 50% you can reduce your electricity consumption. So there are various brands available in the market. One of the brand that I do not remember, one of IIT Bombay student has started it. I'm just not able to recall. I'll tell you.
Atomberg, sir. Atomberg.
Atomberg. Sorry, Atomberg. You can use it. Yeah, Professor Gauri.
Yeah, I don't have a question. I just have a remark. 2 years back, I was in Gandhi King Conference in Stanford, and I had referred to your Surya Kranti. And, you had that solar energy car race, and you appealed to the people to surrender electricity and all that. I had mentioned that in 2 years back in Stanford. And I just wanted to give a compliment that Gandhiji started Gram Swaraj. You are starting Energy Swaraj, so Swaraj Energy. And, just one small comment. Gandhi really comes from the word Gandha. So Gandhi is basically a grocer who sells fragrant things, right? Fragrant spices and all. So he has already sold his fragrant principles, and you are doing the same. So many kudos to you and many compliments. I was looking forward to your lecture. It got cancelled last week. So I was really looking forward to it. I really appreciate the way. And one more thing, I don't know whether you know it. C.D. Deshmukh, the governor of Reserve Bank of India, had written a Gandhi Sukti Muktavali
Really?
in Sanskrit. He was a great Sanskrit scholar. And he said, one of the verses, I had quoted this verse there also. Ahimsa dharma tattvanam agrimam tattvam asti me. Of all the tattvas, ahimsa is the best tattva, agrimam tattvam asti me. Tathaivasav mama shraddha jatasyante pi vidyate. Let my shraddha in that be there till I die. So I just want to congratulate you on this.
Thank you. And
Thanks for coming on Chinmaya platform.
I'm so happy to see Adi Shankaracharya in your room. And
Yes. Because I'm in Adi Shankara Nilayam. I'm a Sanskritist.
So nice.
So, yeah, in my room there is Shankaracharya.
Bus also is there.
Thank you. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and guiding us on the Chinmaya platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes,
Hariom,
please go on.
what are the effects of side effects of solar energy?
Well, I mean, solar energy as such does not have any side effect, but when we manufacture a device, let's say when we manufacture a solar panel, there are a lot of chemicals that goes in it, So solar panel, you need to purify silicon. Silicon requires a lot of energy because you have to melt it at 1500 degrees centigrade. Then you require a lot of toxic material to purify it. Then to make a solar cell, you require materials, and then you need to make a glass on top of it. So that you need to manufacture. You need an aluminum frame that you need to manufacture. There is a wire and the iron structure on which you are going to install solar panel. So basically, solar energy does not have side effect. But this device that you are going to make, solar panel, it will have a side effect. Any device will have side effect. Any manufacturing in the world will have side effect. This case, the side effect will be much smaller as compared to coal electricity. But it is not going to be zero. And therefore, the best thing you can do in life is don't use anything. You can use solar energy directly in a passive way. Do not use solar energy in an active way. If possible, avoid it. And that's why my first principle is avoid the use of energy as much as possible, even if it is solar energy.
Okay, sir. Sir, just tell me the meaning of third P. I was not able to write that. UPP, you don't understand, pledge.
Understand, pledge, and then progress. It's not only enough to take a pledge and say, okay, I'm going to take a pledge to reduce my electricity consumption by 20%. No, also progress it. Monitor your progress. That have you taken enough precautions? And if you go to our website and if you download our app, the app will guide you how you can reduce your electricity consumption by 10, 20, 30, 40, up to 100%. So understand first there is a connection between energy that you use, climate change. Next, take a pledge that you are going to be a part of the solution, not the pollution. You are going to do something about it. Third, make a progress. Every month monitor your electricity bill if there is a reduction in the electricity consumption or not. So that is UPP, understand, pledge, and progress. So we have to all keep up with the climate change. And recent report of the IPCC very clearly tells that whatever estimation that you have made of the climate change, they are underestimated. Actual change is much more, and that's why last 2 months the heat waves in Canada and floods in Germany and fires in Russia and Greece, everywhere things are bad right now as we are talking. So that's why we need to do something within the time limits available to us, and we do not have a lot of time. So
Okay.
I hope everybody will take a pledge today to reduce your electricity consumption by 5%, 10%, 20%, 100%. Surrender it and become free from electricity connection. That's the best thing you can do.
Okay. So one more thing, you told let you be the change if you want to bring about the change. But the people around us, if they don't observe the change, and it becomes difficult for us to know.
No if and no but. The moment you put if and but, which means you've not really understood it. That's what I made earlier comment, right? If and but is the sign that you do not understand it, or you have not understood it completely. Gandhiji was alone to bring the change, isn't it? If Gandhiji would have waited ki the entire society will change, then only I'll say it will have never happened. So it is the individual can make a big difference. You are very powerful, I'm sure in Chinmaya Mission must be taught to everyone that each one of us is a source of energy, is a sea of energy. Each one of us are very powerful. We do not realize it. We just take a right sankalpa that yes, you can change it and the world will change. As simple as this. So don't consider yourself small. You're big. And that's why Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world and world will change automatically.
Okay, sir.
Don't worry about the people's action. Worry only about your action.
Okay,
Don't
sir.
worry about the government action. Only worry about your own action. Because nothing is in your control. Only you are in your control.
Yes,
If at all you are in your control, right?
yes.
We
Okay,
are also not in our control. Sometimes our body say moha, maya and all this lobh, moh, growth takes us to a new orbit because we are not in our control. Forget about somebody else controlling. So don't even tell to your friend also that let us do this. You do it and your friend will see and they will do it.
That is what, sir, I said. They should observe. Now, see, sometimes it happens that the lights are on and
No, they should do nothing. Forget about they. I should do this. I am the one who is stupid person because I am the one who is causing damage to the air and water. I focus on I. Forget about they. The moment you focus on they and he and she, you become miserable. That's what we teach in Art of Living. Focus on I only. Don't become miserable.
Okay, thank you, Hari Om, sir.
Yes, Solanki ji,
Namaste.
namaste. I think in this context, we have to move beyond I, my, and mine. I, me, and mine. Okay.
Yes.
So once we start moving, then we will not be thinking about our surroundings, but action speaks much more than words.
Absolutely.
Okay, and thank you very much. That was really very nice. And we'll try to adopt maximum among children and ourselves also to do what best we can. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to ask any more questions? Is there any queries? So I think that is it, sir. I have also put a feedback form in the link in the chat box. Please fill it. It is a center for your certificates if you require it. So once again, I'm asking, would anyone else like to ask any more questions? Please put in the chat box or you can unmute yourself. Please ask. Okay.
So thank you very much, everyone, for joining in this discussion. And I hope you'll take some takeaways and not only just take takeaways, but actually start the action from right now. We are already running out of time and let us act right now. Thank you very much.
Sir, a small vote of thanks from us. We had a very enlightening session in which we got to know more about Energy Swaraj and how the movement is a stepping stone towards energy access, energy sustainability, and climate change mitigation. And on behalf of Chinmaya Vishwavidyapeeth and myself, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to you, sir. And I would also like to thank all participants who have joined us today. Thank you all once again.